We're all about creating crazy things here on this channel, and this tutorial is no short of crazy. In this video, we're going to show you how to create this awesome grid hallway effect that allows you to easily insert objects like titles or even a logo reveal right into this awesome motion graphic. Hey, what's going on, internet? Josh Noel, SonduckFilm. Hope you're doing excellent today. Be sure to drop a like on this video. It helps us out tremendously. And for those of you that are really looking to wow your audience and have an awesome piece of motion graphic for a title, a logo, or an object you want to insert into a grid type hallway, we have an awesome tutorial. Let's jump in and let's get started. If you're ready to create the most awesome thing in the world, you can download our project files for free if you wish to follow along. So the first thing we're going to do is create this entire grid environment here. Very easy to do and a lot of fun. So here we are in a blank composition. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to Layer, New, Solid, and we'll call this Grid Back. And we're going to make sure the width and height is 2000 by 2000. Also, our composition size is 1920 by 1080 if that's important to you. So then we're going to go to Effect, Generate, and as you know, we're going to grab the Grid Effect. From here, we're going to set this from Size From to Width and Height sliders. And we'll come here to Width, set this to 200, and the height to 200. So we'll have these perfect squares. So in order to set this effect up for success, we have to duplicate this several different times and set it up into the right position. So what we're going to do is take our grid here, make sure it's set to a 3D layer, and then we can go to Edit, Duplicate, and now we have a duplicate here. So what we want to do is connect to the bottom of the grid and also the top. So what we can do is we can call this grid bottom, and then we'll hit R on keyboard for rotation, set the X rotation to 90 degrees. Then we can just hit P on keyboard for position. And we come here to the Y position, put a 1 in front of 1540, so it'll be 1540 like that, and come here to the Z value and put a negative 1000. So by changing the active camera here to left, if we do this correctly, we should have this L shape here with our two layers meeting at this point. So then we can duplicate our bottom layer again, and this way we can connect to the top, and we can hit P on keyboard for position, and we'll set our Y value to negative 460. And now it's already connected to the top, and you can see with our toggle mask and shapes here is that everything is connected here by the corners. So we know that we're doing this correctly. So now we just gotta do the sides. So I'll grab our grid back again, duplicate it, come here to the bottom layer, we can call this grid left. And I'm gonna hit R on my keyboard for rotation, set the Y rotation to 90 degrees this time. Then we'll hit P on keyboard for position. We'll set the X value to a 1960. And we'll set the Z value to negative 1000. And if the grid left selected, you can see here's on the left. So then we'll duplicate this again. And this time for grid right, we'll set our X position to negative 40. And everything should be connected. So feel free to copy my position settings if you just wish to jump along here. Before we move on, as you know, creating motion graphics from scratch takes so much time and it's just challenging. To help you get work done in under a minute, we have produced over 10,000 templates for After Effects and Premiere Pro. For example, in our Pulse Pack, you can preview these really cool templates and then apply them to your project. From there, you can change the settings to your needs, and bam, another project complete. To see all of our templates and start saving time right now, be sure to check our links below. Alright, so now let's go ahead and set up this amazing and subtle camera movement to really make the scene come to life, and then we can start adding text into this and make it look really cool. So first thing we're going to do is go to Layer, New, Camera, and 50 millimeters is okay, click OK. Then what we want to do is open up our camera 1, go to Camera Options, and set the zoom to 550. And this is really where you're going to get to see the view of the entire scene like this, so it kind of stretches out the sides, and it looks cool, right? So then what we want to do, because I don't like using the camera to animate, is we'll go to Layer, New, Null Object. And then all we're going to do is parent the camera to the null object. I'm going to call it Camera Control. And simply we'll just hit P on keyboard for position. Make sure you turn this into a 3D layer and add a keyframe for position. Beautiful. Then we can zoom into our scene by a little bit so we can kind of cut off the black edges here. We'll move here to 2 seconds in our timeline, and we'll grab the Z position, and we will just zoom into our scene like so. And that should be okay. Then we're going to select both keyframes, hit F9 on our keyboard to make them easy ease, go to the graph editor. We'll grab both of our points down here, make sure that these handles are dragged all the way in towards the center, so we'll have this very smooth animation. Then we'll simply alt-click the stopwatch on those keyframes, and we're going to type in loop out, capital O, open parenthesis, quotations, ping pong, quotations, and close parenthesis. So now we're going to have the smooth back and forth animation of our grid scene. So now I'm going to show you how you can just add any sort of text or object into this very easily without any animation. So you can grab your, say, your textile tool, for example, and you can type out a title, And the only thing we need to do is make sure that title layer or object is set to a 3D layer. Then you can simply hit P on keyboard for position, grab the Z value, and you can bring it forward here. So what's going to happen here is that as our scene moves back and forth, our title is going to be directly in place. A cool little tip, you can take your title, you can duplicate it, and come here to this swap fill stroke icon, and you can just hit P on keyboard position and move this back further here. So now it looks like it'll be a little bit of a stroke, three-dimensional look to that title. So you see, boom, that looks pretty cool. All right, so now I want to talk about some creative effects. I'll show how to create this at the end as well, but there's some other creative effects in here that make a little bit of a difference in our work, and I want to show you how to do that. So we'll go ahead and create ourselves in a new adjustment layer, and we'll come here to Effect, Distort, and we're going to grab Optics Compensation, and we can set our field of view up here to say like 160 or so, and then make sure you check on Reverse Lens Distortion, and you're going to have this crazy look here. We can add a keyframe for field of view, move forward maybe by less than a second or so, and set the field of view down to 0. And then we'll hit U, and we'll go ahead and select that last keyframe, hit F9 to make it easy ease, and you can just come here to Graph Editor and bring that point all the way to the left here. So this will give us a little bit of an intrigue start. And then we can come here to Effect, Distort, and we can grab CC Lens, which is right here. And right when we touch the end here, what we can do is come here to Size, set this up to 500. Add a keyframe for it, move forward in time by a little bit, maybe by a few frames, and come here and set the size down to 100. And we're gonna get this really weird warping edge here, and then we move forward by a few more frames and set the size back up to 500. So now with these creative effects, it's gonna add a nice level of dimension to our overall work. All right, so for those of you that are interested in creating this, block here, very simple to do this. All we do is create a new composition. It's 1920 by 1080. Black title, white background, and once that's typed out and ready to go to composition, composition settings, and we can bring down the width and the height to fit around our title. So it should look like this, nice and rectangled out. Then you go back into your previous comp, bring in that pre-composed comp there, so there it is, and we simply can come here to the anchor point, grab the pan behind tool, and just move this here to the top, and then set this to a 3D layer. And we'll solo it real quick. And what we'll do is we'll take this layer and we'll duplicate it, and we'll hit R keyboard for rotation. We'll come into X rotation, and we'll set this to say 90 degrees. Then if we go ahead and create ourselves a quick null object, so we'll go to Layer, New, Null Object. We can parent both these tiles to the null, make sure the null is a 3D layer, and simply hit R keyboard for rotation, and now we can start to rotate this, kind of like so. So then you can come here and add a keyframe for X rotation. Or actually you don't have to do that. You can alt-click stopwatch, type in time, asterisk 20 or something like that. And now we're going to have this rotation. And since it's the 3D layers are automatically going to be moving, you might need to play around with different sizing here. So we can hit our keyboard for scale, break the chain, set a minus value on the X scale, and also maybe a minus value on the Y scale. And we might need to reposition this. But by tweaking those settings, you should be able to create yourself a quick little block like this. And then we can take our work we've done here, pre-compose it, call it all, and then make sure 3D layer, hit P on keyboard position, bring forward the Z value. So now we should have this in here. So whatever we put in the background now should be able to stay in there, and you can add whatever objects that you wish to have for your grid effect. So if you're looking to jumpstart your motion graphics, you can download our free After Effects and Premiere Pro template packs. Those links are below. You get our free extension as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We post multiple post-production tutorials every single week right here on SonduckFilm. And always be creating.